Everybody's in business, you want to make money, you want to provide for your family, but we're not in this for a quick buck. We're in it to make long-term relationships with our clients and really serve them. Because if they don't win, we don't win.
Ryan, you said it earlier, like if you do want to become a growth partner, like you need to offer a complete solution. There's a lot of agencies sometimes that they might be afraid on sending out an email and for them trying to get together. If let's say that they're being unresponsive. Let's say a client is being unresponsive. You feel, okay, I'm not going to, reach out to them because I feel that if I reach out to them, something bad's going to happen. But I think you have to be one step ahead, right? And you have to make sure that you're communicating.
It's funny that you're saying that, because if I think way back when we started working with local businesses, back then the mind frame was like, no news is good news.
And that's the hardest part, right? Right in the end of the day, if you don't have accountability, that's where things can get slippy.
The impression you give in the first 30, 60, and at the most 90 days, that's what's going to set the tone of your relationship with that client for 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years, how you treated them right from the get-go. A lot of these people, they didn't really have a good experience with their other agency they worked with. So if you can stand out just that bit more or a lot more, you're going to be way further ahead than your competition. Done is better than perfect. We have a perfectionist mindset. So a lot of times things drag out for 6 months, a year and a half.
That I can do it better than anyone else. I'm just going to jump in every single time there's something going on and just trying to be the fireman, trying to take out the fires, right? Welcome to the Go Accomplish More podcast, where we interview successful individuals that are doing amazing things in their business and in their personal life. Today's guest is Greg Gullo, and he is one of the owners with his brother Paolo behind Asphalt Marketers, the #1 digital marketing agency serving 7- and 8-figure asphalt contractors. For more than 15 years, they've helped business owners dominate their local markets, build predictable pipelines, and grow with real freedom. Today, we're talking about building an agency with family, finding clarity through niche focus, and overcoming the challenges that every entrepreneur faces along the way. Greg, welcome to the Go Accomplish More podcast.
Hi, everyone. And hey, John, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to chat about these topics today and share whatever I can that could be of value to others listening.
Super excited to have you on, and we're just going to go through some questions and we're going to jump around, have fun. Well, to get going, so you've built an agency together for over a decade with your brother. And what's one thing the other person brings to business that you couldn't replace, right? Because I know working with family, my brother has his own business and my sisters work with him. And sometimes there's some dynamics, sometimes there's struggle, but can you share a little bit about what dynamic you both bring to the table?
Yeah, so we go way back. Paulo and I are brothers, and we've been in business together for a long time. When we were growing up, my parents had a family business, so we worked there. And we were very heavily into business development and all that. They imported products and we manufactured stuff that was made in Italy, but we served North America. And back then, Paulo and I helped run that business. And then we moved on. And in 2004, we started dabbling with digital marketing. So at the infancy of when Google Ads started, okay, that's when we got going. And I'll try and keep a long story short, but we basically sold information products and affiliate products online to all English-speaking countries worldwide, right? And then fast forward to 2010, Paul and I said, everything we've learned in digital marketing, we were part of mastermind groups back then as well. We said, why don't we bring that to local businesses? And that's what we did. So our network was mainly construction companies, and part of that, we had a lot of asphalt contractors that were friends of ours. Their families owned asphalt paving and maintenance companies. And so that's the direction we went in. In terms of our dynamic, to answer your question there, I think we both bring things to the table. We have different characteristics in how we approach things and how we do things and all that, but our vision is always aligned on where we want to go with the company and what our end goal is in everything we do. So we're very much alike in that regard. I'm more in the sales side, dealing with contacts, leads, customers, clients, stuff like that, where Paulo's more technical. He works more with our team internally. So we just divide and conquer.
That's so good. And that's usually how a partnership works, right? You have one person that may be involved within the operations, and then you have the other person that is more on the sales side, and you guys complement each other. Like in this case, you guys are brothers, which is pretty cool. But definitely when you do have a partner, you want to make sure that one complements each other, right? Would you agree? For sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like early on, we were known as the Gullo brothers back then, and
Yeah.
still are. But so we would do like sales meetings, and back then it was before Zoom, in person at the client's location. And we would both go because we felt like the dynamic of having us both there would help us build more rapport and close that deal easier. But then we started thinking like, we need to divide and conquer here. We can't always both go, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's
Totally.
what we did. He went more on the systems and operations, and I went more on the sales side.
That's so good. That's so good. So let
Yeah.
me ask you. So looking back at this past year, like when you look at where your agency is at, like when did you really realize that you were building something special, like in your agency?
Yeah, well, you know what? When we started out back in 2010 doing the digital marketing services for other clients, we were more of a generalist agency, and we mainly construction, a lot of asphalt contractors, but there was a manufacturing company, a restaurant, whatever was in our network, we were doing services for. Fast forward to today, it feels really great that every day all we do is work with and help serve asphalt contractors. That's all we do on a daily basis. That's all I speak with. I understand them. I understand their needs, what their pain points are, how we can help them online. And we truly act as their growth partner. Everybody's in business. You want to make money, you want to provide for your family, but we're not in this for a quick buck. We're in it to make long-term relationships with our clients and really serve them. Because if they don't win, we don't win. And I don't want them to spend money if they're not getting good results. Like, I'm really passionate about our clients doing well, or else they shouldn't be investing into marketing type thing, right?
That's so good. And when you said that each person or each agent, each agency should be like a growth partner, that's exactly how we run our business as well. Like when you understand your niche and you understand where they're falling, you want to make sure that you can deliver in that area, right? Because a lot of times if you just say, okay, I'm a lead generation agency, but you don't see that they might have something wrong with their systems, or they might need more AI components, right?
Exactly.
By you being that growth partner, you understand where you can bring value, and that will increase retention. That will increase that trust factor, right? Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the direction we're going into more. Before it was just like, we got to do their marketing. We got to generate leads for them. But now it's become so much more, especially this last year, back to your question, this last year, becoming and acting as their growth partner and really digging into where we could help beyond the sales, beyond the marketing, whatever we could help them. We're very willing to do that. So, it's been exciting. And also the team we've built in the last year, and we're in a really good direction right now. So we're happy about that.
That's so good. That's so good. So let's talk about some industry pain points, right? And I think that the reason why we're in business is because we do see there's an opportunity, right? We bring that solution to a problem that we see in the industry. So when you started working with contractors, what did you notice about their struggles? Were there certain things that you were noticing that reminded you of challenges every agency or small business faces? Or did you notice something that you can say, you know what, we can make a difference in this area, and you started working towards that?
Well, so if I had to say in terms of asphalt contractors and the struggles I've seen is a lot of them primarily had outdated websites. So they had a website from like 2010 or 2014, and they never updated it, right? So that was one thing that we felt we could make a big impact with creating a conversion-friendly, professionally designed and built website. So now their brand shows a lot better online. The other thing too is, they had a lot of inconsistencies in their digital marketing. They might have, in some cases, they might have a good website, but then their social media is lacking, or they have no Google ads or lead generation out there, or their SEO is weak. So what we did is we put programs together that are comprehensive programs, all inclusive, that helps them become omnipresent online.
Love that.
And have that consistency across multiple platforms. So we kind of just look for holes in their marketing plan and help them plug all those holes and have them show up across all platforms, omnipresent. And another thing we found, like a lot of contractors struggle with following up. So we've developed our Asphalt Accelerator CRM, which helps with sending text messages and certain automations and emails to help them follow up with estimates or proposals that are out to convert more sales that way. Because what we found is a lot of contractors, they'll send an estimate out, and then if the person never gets back to them, it dies there. Whereas we know in sales, sometimes it takes 5 times or 7 times to follow up to get an answer, whether they're going to go ahead or not. So just having a better follow-up system can, in some cases, help them double their business, right? Because they have so many proposals out there that are just like, they're just like Hail Married out there and hoping that somebody will get back. But it's not always like that.
So would you say like whenever you get a new client, like do you normally lead with offering them a website? If you see that their website is terrible, do you normally go through that, or do you offer a comprehensive marketing plan that includes everything, the CRM or the website and everything, or do you usually lead with one or the other?
So going back historically, we would lead with one or the other. We kind of piecemeal every single thing we think they need. Oh, you need this, so we'll do that. And it was kind of, it worked back then 5 or so years ago, but now we have programs that are all inclusive. So we have our Activate Growth program that we typically offer to asphalt contractors who are under 1 million in revenue, who are aspiring to get to that over 1 million, 2 million growth goal. That's our Activate Growth program. And that includes a new website. It includes paid search, so Google Ads, right? Generating leads in their local area. Online review management, sending out review requests, responding to reviews. They have access to our graphic design team. They have our Asphalt Accelerator CRM included in that. I could be forgetting something at the top of my head, but so that's that one. And then we also have our next one up, which is our Accelerate Growth program that we offer to asphalt contractors who are in the 1 to 3 million revenue range. Then we have our Elite Growth program that we offer to asphalt contractors in the 3 to 10 million revenue range. So they all include website. As you get in the higher program, it's just more pages that we offer built into that website, and also more services, right? We offer social media management as they climb the ladder. So that's typically how we do it. And we find that it's working really well, right? They get a new website, very well designed, conversion friendly. Even if they were doing a service that's included in our program, we're confident that we could do a better job or at least put that best foot forward to do so, right? So,
right. And you said it earlier, like if you do want to become a growth partner, like you need to offer a complete solution, right? Because a lot of times agency owners, they try to piecemeal every service, but then in the end, they're probably shooting themselves in the shoe because they're not offering a complete solution, right? And I get it. Sometimes you might have that client that just wants the website, but that could open the door for you to offer the whole package, right? And being omnipresent, you said as well. I think being omnipresent is key, which I believe could also help with retention, right? Because they see themselves being everywhere. They're putting their voice out there. Would you say that being omnipresent or helping your client be omnipresent has helped with their retention? Or if not, what are some strategies that you believe? Because as agencies grow, retention plays a big part, right? As you start getting clients. So, what's your take on retention? Do you think being omnipresent, or do you have any other, like ideas that you've seen that have helped with retention?
Having programs helps with retention. And the reason why I say that is because when you sell one service, like whether it be website development or paid search ads on Google, or SEO, for example, they may cancel after a certain amount of time if it's not performing well, right? But when you have multiple services that you offer in a program, they see the value in what you offer as a growth partner more than just one service that they can cut
100%.
out, right? Because if one's lagging, the other one's helping, right? Or if they have a hole here, you're helping over there. So I think having a program or multiple programs, not too many, just multiple programs to offer comprehensive services will help with retention, because you're just not one service provider. You offer a whole slew of things to them. The other thing that's been big for retention for us is we offer monthly client success meetings, right? So, it's not a set it and forget it. Like we make the sale, we start doing your marketing, and you never hear from us again. Every 30 days, You hear from our CSM. We have a Zoom meeting with them. We talk about how the results went from the previous month. We intake their feedback on how the leads are on their end. Are they happy with them? Do we need to make adjustments? Do we need to shift parts of their service area? Right? So we have those conversations. We make recommendations. We also ask for things that our team's been asking, like if we need more photos or videos, or we'll encourage them to help us get more online reviews by asking their customers when they're client facing. So I think that the monthly CSM meeting has really helped with retention and standing out from our competition to show our clients that we truly do care about the success of their campaign and the growth, their growth goals and all that. So
that's so good. And there's a lot of agencies sometimes that they might be afraid on sending out an email and for them trying to get together. If let's say that they're being unresponsive. Let's say a client is being unresponsive. You feel, okay, I'm not going to, reach out to them because I feel that if I reach out to them, something bad's going to happen. But I think you have to be one step ahead, right? And you have to make sure that you're communicating. And even if that client is unresponsive, the way that we've done it is that you send the Loom video, right? The account manager will just send the Loom video explaining the reports, explaining how the leads are doing, right? And I think that if you're over communicating, that's going to save you a lot of headaches. It's going to build on retention, right?
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's funny that you're saying that because if I think way back when we started working with local businesses, back then the mind frame was like, no news is good news. If you don't hear from them, they must be doing good, right?
Yep.
No, leave them alone. They're doing great. They never contact us. But now the mindset has shifted so much that it's like, no, we reach out. We have those monthly meetings, or like you said, if they can't attend for whatever reason, our CSM will create a Loom video and send it over. So that's been really, I can think of more retention things that help, but those are the ones that come to mind right now.
Yeah. Over communicating, I think, is the key if you want to have, great retention and being one step ahead. And I think that if you're listening to this and you're an agency owner and you want better retention, you got to have a good account manager. Make sure that, the account manager is following through, like over communicating. And I think that's going to help you with retention stuff that's happening in your business and keep high, that retention high for sure. We were going to talk now about systems and strategies. And I know that as agencies, as you start hitting that 7-figure mark and then multiple 7 figures, systems start breaking, right? And that's a good thing in a way, because people think that, or most agency owners think that, oh my God, my systems is breaking. But that's actually a good thing because you know what to fix and you know what to improve, right? And we have to be ready for that, right? And sometimes we're not going to be ready for things breaking. So when it comes to systems, and maybe you can talk a little bit about your book if you do talk about systems in your book, but what would you say, to that agency owner that is scaling and wants to improve in their systems?
Yeah. So one thing I would say as you're scaling up, you definitely need to have SOPs. So standard operating procedures.
100%.
Have those well itemized and documented. What do you do when you onboard a new client? What do you do when you launch their campaign? What do you do when you're building their website? And so on and so forth. And have a checklist itemized of every single step-by-step you do to perform those services with your implementation team. And have your team follow that, right? Have them religiously follow that, check off every little piece was done so that the client gets a great experience. Nothing's been missed. And so I think having your SOPs dialed in is easier said than done. Like, we're good at it, but we're not. I still want to be even better with our SOPs, right? So that's 100%. Something that I would definitely do so that, you have less fires that start and things don't break as often. And then, the other thing when you're scaling up is, John, we've talked about this in the past. We know that having the right people in the right seats, right?
Totally, 100%.
Yeah, and for us, one of our first hires was a project manager, right? And having that project manager to overlook the website development project and work in between our client and our web development team was super helpful, right? Now we've built out a whole organizational accountability chart where you have myself and Paulo at the top that were the visionaries. And then as you go down, it builds it like the integrator, which we're still looking for that position. And then every other service, sales, marketing, implementation team, finances, we have that all built up. But even if you're a smaller agency, have an organizational accountability chart and see what that looks like. It really helps you with filling holes of the roles you don't have, or forecasting for future. Like, man, when I get to this size and I get that position in, it'll really help me in so many ways, right? It's been a very good overview and bird's eye view for us to see who we have to hire, just having it like a tree of our whole company.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And we're like advocates of the EOS model. I'm not sure if you guys are implementing EOS, but we're self-implementing EOS. And one of the things that they teach is that when you have the accountability chart, or that chart, is you want to make sure that each individual, they get it, they want it, right? And they have the capacity, right? Because a lot of times one person may have two of them, but then they don't have the capacity for it. So you want to make sure that you move that person to the right seat. And a lot of times we don't find out until later, right? As the agency grows. And that's the hardest part, right? Like has that happened to you? Like, you have some individuals that, that have been with you for many years, and you're like, oh gosh, I think this person will do a lot better in this other role. Maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know what? For us, it hasn't come up that often that they would be shifting in other roles. They have expressed interest in like expanding their skills and being like, hey, I like what I'm doing, but I'd really like to move into that role. So we've entertained that or explored that and have moved some people. But I wouldn't say it came up as often for us. But
okay.
On the topic of EOS, that's fantastic that you guys are self-implementing it. It is on our radar very soon. We want to, make the whole company be on the EOS system. So we're really excited about that. That's in our near future.
Yeah. And I read, if you read Traction, is a great book. Another one for those listening, What the Heck is EOS? That's something that you can give to your team members. So definitely recommend just going through the videos, and whoever's listening. I think that the foundation of any agency or any business is you want to make sure that you know what each person needs to do. You have the accountability chart, and you have accountability, right? In the end of the day, if you don't have accountability, that's where things can get slippy, and people not knowing what they're expected of, right? Like individuals and certain roles, right? So, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to onboarding, now that we're talking about systems, we're talking about strategy and scaling. Like, usually, I believe that when you onboard a new client, it's one of the most important things, right? Because they're getting to know who you are, right? So what's one part of your process that your agency does right now that makes the big difference when you're onboarding a new client?
We try and keep it as tight as possible from when the sale was made. So when we bring on a new client, we want that onboarding session booked within a few days later, maximum a week's time frame. Okay. And then what we also do is we bring on all the team members that are working on the program they came into, attend the onboarding session. And because I typically at this point in our agency, I'm dealing with the new client, I'll come on and I'll review I'll welcome them. I'll introduce every team member and what their role is. Although they will be dealing just with their account manager, I still want them to see who's behind it all, right? So that shows a lot of strength in our agency and who's working for them on a day-to-day. Because sometimes they can think, it's just one person who's handy at everything, but it's not really like that. We have specialists in every role that we offer, right? In every service that we offer. So the whole team comes on. I lead it. What I do is I read all the notes I took from my discovery call and my strategy proposal meeting. I review that with the team in front of the client so they see how well we listen, right? I'd have to say I'm a pretty good listener. Like, I like to when they're talking, I'm always taking down notes so that it's not just for me, it's for my team. In 3 months from now, 6 months, a year from now, we can look back at what their goals are, what their needs are, what their pain points are, have it all documented. And so I fire that off to the team, and I get the whole onboarding session in the right direction. And then I let the team take over from there, and they'll start collecting assets and stuff like that. And they'll tell them what the next steps are. I mean, I think there's always room for improvement. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good, right? We're always learning how can we make our onboarding process even better? And I agree with you, John. That's one of the most important things. We talked about retention earlier, or churn or whatever. One of the most important things is the impression you give in the first 30, 60, and at the most 90 days. That's what's going to set the tone of your relationship with that client for 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years, how you treated them right from the get-go. And a lot of times, whatever your niche may be, or whoever, if you have a generalist agency, whatever it is, a lot of these people, they didn't really have a good experience with their other agency they worked with. So if you can stand out just that bit more or a lot more, you're going to be way further ahead than your competition.
Totally. There's a good book called Never Lose a Client or Never Lose a Customer by Joey Coleman. And that book really changed on how I looked at the first 90 to 120 days, right? You want to make sure that you're giving that person a great customer experience, with even the gift basket that goes out, or the communication, everything that's happening in the front end, because they don't know who you are, right? You're building that trust in this first 90. And if you can, take it out of the park, like hit it out of the park, the first 90 days to 120 days, they're going to stay with you for a long time, right? Would you agree?
I agree 100%, because most likely, not always, but their previous experience probably wasn't that good, right? That's why they switched agencies to come to you. So yeah, like you said, communication is huge, right? Keep it really tight in the first 30, 60, and 90, and then get into that monthly cadence or bi-weekly, whatever you think is good after the first 90 days. But the first bit, keep it really, really tight, maybe weekly calls or emails or whatever it may be. And then try and convert a quick win for them early on, right? Totally. Whether it be, doing a client reactivation campaign, sending a text to all their client base and try and convert a sale for them. Or if you're putting ads out there, paid ads, whether it be on Meta or Google, try and convert some leads within the first few weeks. That'd be fantastic. We also bang out their website in the first month, right? So they're seeing a lot happening.
That's great. And do you guys do contracts like with your clients, like when you onboard them, or is it month to month? Like what's your take on that?
So we do 12-month agreements.
Okay, likewise.
And then
like us, that's great.
Yeah, and then after that, it's month to month from there. But what we find is if they make it past the 1 year, they're staying long term.
100%. Yeah, and the goal too. I mean, the reason we also do contracts is that most of them, they're doing SEO as well. So you want to make sure you let them know, like, hey, the SEO can take 6 months or more. While we're building your website. But of course, you want to show them those quick wins in the beginning to make sure that they're seeing progress, right? And that's the key.
Yeah, exactly. As an agency, you need that time. In 3 months and 6 months, you can't give them all the goods you're capable of. Like you said, the SEO to rank for certain keywords could take 6 months, 9 months, a year, right? So after 12 months, you've built their website, you've had quick wins early on, you make them rank for SEO, convert leads through ads. So I think that's the right amount of time. And it's a good commitment on their end too. On your client's end.
So good. So, I mean, growing a company, right, forces you to change, right? I mean, I think that once you hit 7 figures, once you hit multiple 7 figures, what has been one leadership shift that you had to do in order to change your mindset and grow beyond where you're headed to? I mean, currently you're doing great, but where is your company headed? And what are the key things you had to do to change your mindset with all this growth?
Yeah, I think that one thing is letting go and delegating, right? Kind of go through all the things you do as an owner operator and think about what you can delegate to someone else that they can get it done for you. Which helps with speed to implementation. A lot of times we have to-do lists that are gigantic and we can never get to them because we're too busy, right? So once you start delegating, it really helps with the growth. We actually just hired a sales and marketing assistant, which helps Paulo and I. This person just started on Monday. It's already been incredible 3 days in here, right? So good. And this person is just tackling all of our to-dos of things we need to implement, So that's been really good. And then another thing I would say is done is better than perfect. We have a perfectionist mindset. So a lot of times things drag out for 6 months, a year and a half, just because we want it to be perfect. But there's that saying, done is better than perfect. So
I love that. And I think the reason I think that most people started their agency is because they're seeking some type of freedom, right? I mean, if we scale the agency, but then we're working 3 times more than when we started, right? then there's something wrong, right? We don't have the right systems in place, we don't have those right team members that are helping us, so that we can have a little bit of freedom, right? I mean, we love what we do, of course, but when when you talk about freedom, like what's one thing in your eyes that you have allowed to, like what type of freedom has your agency allowed you right now, or do you have the freedom that you were hoping to have, right? Because a lot of times agency owners are like, well, I'm not there yet, but I do have this sense of freedom as well.
Well, that's a really good question. And this question actually popped up in my mind recently on myself. I was just self-reflecting. And, every day I kind of analyze my day. I'm like, how productive was I? I'm kind of hard on myself that way. And every day is not perfect. I get a lot of interruptions, whether it be with the team, with a client, whoever it may be, or I have family, I have 2 little kids, my wife, sometimes we go on vacation, and not every day am I happy with my self-production, right? And I'm like, thank God we have a team in place that handles so much, and systems and procedures and all that. I recently went away. We took the family to Mexico early November, and things were just rolling. Things were just happening because we have the right people in the right seats. And that has allowed for a lot of freedom.
So good. And I think that we have to, as agency owners, we want to make sure, or you have to have a mindset shift that whoever's doing it, sometimes they might do it 80% as good as you in the beginning. But as they start getting better, they probably can even do it better than you, right? In some cases, right? And I think that we just have to let go of that notion that I can do it better than anyone else. I'm just going to jump in every single time there's something going on, and just trying to be the fireman, trying to take out the fires, right? Do you see yourself sometimes like reminding yourself like, okay, I'm just going to let my team handle this and not jump in, even though you want to? Like what prevents you from doing it?
Exactly. I've had situations like that where like, should I give this away? I feel like I do it so good. But then again, first of all, I don't have the time to do things so consistently, where someone else could have the time to do consistent. And I love what you said about bringing it to 80%, and you just kind of jump in for that last 20%. It'll really free up your time, right?
Yep. So good. So good. So what makes serving asphalt contractors meaningful for you on a personal and emotional level?
For one thing, we grew up in the industry or alongside the industry, because as a little kid, my very best friends, a core group of 5 of us, for some reason, they were all in the asphalt contractor paving world, right? And all we ever talked about was that. That's all we ever talked about. Even though my family, we didn't have that, but they did. So as we got into digital marketing, we're like, we knew a lot about that niche, and we're like, that would be the perfect niche to get into to help serve them, get better dialed in online, and show. They always left like digital marketing to the wayside. They never cared about their website. They always thought that old school tactics like knocking on doors, whether it be residential or commercial, was the way to go. I don't need online marketing. I don't need any of this. That was back in 2010. Fast forward to today, now they're coming to us saying, I definitely need this. The old school mentality has died out, or their kids are taking over, right? And their parents are retiring. So we're really helping them and serving them by getting them better dialed in online, generating quality leads. We check every lead that we generate to make sure it's of good quality, seeing which ones they're closing and all that. So we know that we're getting them business growth, right? We know their growth goal, and we're helping them get there. It's not always just us helping them get there. They're doing things on their end too, but that's where the partnership comes into play. So good. So good. So listen, there's a lot of agencies listening, and usually we always want to know what the secret sauce is, right? Like how did this person scale so rapidly? How did this person, do you have something in mind? Like what was that one thing or that one or two things that really propelled your agency to grow? Is there anything that comes to mind in the last year or two? If you find something you're good at, one thing is pick a niche. Pick a niche that you like, that 100%. You feel like you can serve them well, and stick with it. And don't get shiny object syndrome. Like a lot of people, they shift quickly. They don't stick with one thing. Stick with one thing that you're passionate about and that you do well at and you can serve others with. And wake up every day and keep tackling that one thing, and you will be successful in time. So I think being consistent, being passionate, putting your clients first. Don't just think of it as like a sale. Really care about their success, can really help you succeed as a young agency.
So good. So good. All right. So listen, we're going to do now a lightning round question. Whatever's in your mind, I'm just going to say it, or you're going to say it actually. It's only going to be about 4 or 5 questions. Are you ready for it?
Sure. Yes. Okay. That's cool.
All right. So, okay, I'm going to start. So what's one habit that keeps your partnership strong, right? Even during stressful seasons?
So there's a high level of respect there between the two of us. Like, we're brothers. When we were younger, we would, argue and this and that, that stuff comes up, but, he respects me in the role that I take on. I respect him in the role he takes on, and we give each other that space. But like I said earlier, our vision is always the same, and we're pretty well aligned that way.
Love it. Love it. What's a tool or software you can't live without as agency owners today?
So one is, there's lots of tools out there, but our whole team communicates in Slack, and that's been pretty cool, right?
Slack. Yep.
Yeah, I like it because you know what? If I can't talk to if I'm too busy during the day in meetings or whatever I'm doing, I'll even in bed start Slack messaging so that they get those messages the next day, and then they're already responding to me. So I like Slack. I like that. We also use Go High Level as a CRM. That's been really good with setting up snapshots and funnels and automations and sending out text messages and sales pipeline. So Go High Level has been a really good tool for us as well. And then we have project management softwares. We use Monday.com. We're looking at ClickUp.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And I think Slack, when you said Slack, I'm like, I love Slack because I think it just brings like a lot of communication within the team, which is amazing, right?
Yeah. And actually, I'll throw in one more. So like these tools like Zoom or Riverside or Google Meet,
Totally.
These have been instrumental for us because back in the day when we started, you always have to go face to face.
Yes.
And people literally used to say, like when we first got into Zoom, you're not coming to our office?
Exactly.
Why don't you come to my office? They felt like the only way you could meet is being face to face. I'm like, no, there's Zoom. I don't know how to use Zoom. I don't know how to download it. Don't worry, just click the link and it's pretty easy.
And now it's a little bit awkward, right? Like if somebody says, hey, come to my office versus before it was the other way around.
Yes, I can come to your audience, come sit there, drive for half an hour to come see you. Then we sit there for an hour and a half. It was like a 2-hour thing where now you can get 2 hours done in like 30 minutes or 45 minutes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, what's one belief about niching down that you wish more agency owners understood?
You can't be all things to all people, right? If you're dealing with a restaurant today and tomorrow you have a nail salon, then a barber shop, and then a manufacturing company, and then a window and door company, you always have to shift your mindset to get into how can you help them succeed online. I know the fundamentals of online marketing and digital marketing are all quite similar. We all know how to generate leads or build a website. But the lingo and the way they think and all that, you won't have that as dialed in as when you focus on a niche market.
Love that. Do you believe every agency owner should have a mentor in order for them to continue growing?
Absolutely. There was a time where we had a mentor and we were doing fantastic. And then we thought we knew so much. And then we got off having mentorship. And we kind of flatlined for a long time. And now within the last 3 years, we have a coach, a mentor, and our business is just going up and up. And then that's on the business side. And on the personal side, I recently hired a trainer with one-on-one training, which is like a coach. And I've already seen results there, which is making me stronger and feeling better on the day-to-day. So I'm happy about that as well. So not only in business, but in personal, I recommend it.
So good. So last question, but now it's the last question I ask is this podcast is Go Accomplish More, right? And we we interview successful people like yourself. So what's one piece of advice you leave for business owners who want to go accomplish more, like with their business and in their life?
So one thing is I would say just go for it. A lot of people think I want to start a company, but I don't know how. I can't leave my job. Do it on the side in the beginning. Get some clients, service them, and then eventually when it replaces your current income from having a job, then you can take the leap and continue growing it that way. So I would say start earlier than just sitting on it for many years because it's just wasting time. And then the other thing, you just mentioned it, is having a coach, having a mentor, being part of a mastermind group, being around peers that are going through the same struggles you are and kind of networking that way on how to bring your agency forward.
100%. Hey, Greg, it's been great. Where can people connect with you or learn more about your agency and learn more about you?
You know what? They can email me at Greg, at asphaltmarketers.com. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook. You can find me there as well.
Right. And we missed your brother. So hopefully I'll have him on the next podcast for sure. Maybe him
Yeah,
individual.
absolutely. We bring a different dynamic having us both on. We kind of, oh, I'll answer that one. No, I'll answer that one. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. But it was great having you, Greg. Thanks so much. All right.
Thank you for having me, John. It's my pleasure.